Coach, I may be opening a rather fresh wound that is trying to heal here, but Northwestern lost to Greenville 27-16 on Saturday. Your team led after 3 quarters, but gave up 14 fourth quarter points. Can you take me through the phases of that game from your perspective?
Yeah, it was a great game to start with, as far as I was concerned, specifically as defensive coordinator, because we just had a great run with our offense. And a lot of times your best defense is the offense having the ball. It goes back to one mission. Our one mission is we want to get the ball back or we want to keep it. And so the first half was very much that way. The second half, certainly Greenville had made their adjustments, and it was a little bit different story. And so, for 2 years in a row, we've given our best effort, fallen short, and yet that's part of the game. You play the game because you don't know what's going to happen at the end. And I felt real comfortable throughout most of the game that we were going to pull it out. But Greenville's we were playing a conference champion.
It's a true story. Northwestern led 10-7 at halftime, and you talked a little bit about how Greenville made adjustments at halftime. But were you comfortable with that lead at that point in the game?
Well, you're never comfortable with a 10-7 lead against a pretty good football team, or really any football team, because anything can happen. I did feel like we had a chance to win the game and certainly play for the score. There's no doubt about that. But we wanted to just keep playing Eagle football, and so I think we did that to an extent in the second half.
I don't want to fault the offensive line for Saturday, but I know that you were down 3 starters from what that group usually sees. So what are your thoughts based on that, based on going into battle without 3 of your starting offensive linemen?
Yeah. It's like going into a fight with one hand already tied behind your back. Coach Johnson, Wilmuth, Vistendahl, Paulke, Miller all did a tremendous job of pulling things together, came up with a great game plan, and did their best job. It was great to see those guys that came in and replaced the starters do well, and that's what we ask for each guy, to be ready to be the best that they can be, and that's what happened.
Your team still rushed for 213 yards and passed for 217. Is this game a clear example that it's not all about statistics, time of possession, and so forth?
Yeah, I think there's a little bit of that. One of the statistics is turnovers. We didn't create too many turnovers on Saturday as a defense, and we needed to do that. We needed to stop them on 4th down. We didn't get that done. And so those are some statistics if you wanted to look at it from that perspective. But certainly, I understand what you're saying. If you're looking at a pure yardage perspective, we won the game, but the game isn't for yardage, it's for points. And so Greenville certainly showed what they're about, and from that perspective. So I'm proud of our guys, especially on offense, for how they pulled together throughout the week with a lot of adversity.
We purposely waited until Tuesday to run this week's edition of what we call Monday Morning Quarterback. As this morning, Northwestern accepted an invitation to the NCCA Victory Bowl. Before we talk about your opponent, what went into the decision to accept that invitation?
Well, I think first of all, the chance to play for a couple more weeks. This week for us is a regular season week, but we didn't have a game. It's our bye week in essence, but didn't have a game the last week of the season. A lot of people have bye weeks in the middle of the season. We had ours at the end. So we do have 2 more weeks of football. I think that's a big part of it. The seniors really wanted to play postseason and stay together. When it's your last season and you're having a lot of fun and you're being successful, you want to continue that ride as long as you possibly can. And so I think those were some important factors for us in deciding to accept the Victory Bowl bid.
You know your Victory Bowl opponent well because it's Greenville, the team that you just played. How do you feel going against the Panthers again, and so soon with that game being played on November 17th?
I'll be honest, at first it was like, wow, to play the same team again, that's not going to be an easy decision to make, because in a lot of respects it's an interesting, it doesn't happen very often. It does happen though, it is a part of life where things just get kind of weird, let's face it. And yet it's an exciting time for our players. to just play another game. I heard a coach earlier this season said, hey, we'll play anytime, anywhere. Give us a parking lot if you have to. And I think that's the way most of our players are right now. They just want to be together, practicing, and then certainly traveling down to Greenville's going to be fun.
You yourself coached at Greenville a couple decades ago, while one of your assistants, Matt Moore, also coached there. Is there anything the same at that campus from when you were there, and does it give you any advantage when Northwestern plays on the Panthers' home field?
Yeah, I don't think there's any advantage. I wish there was. They probably wouldn't invite us down if there was an advantage because of that. But Greenville was a great place for us to be for those 2 years of time, and I know that we made some special friends down there. So it's always good to go back and see some of those folks that are still there and be a part of that history of football just from the other side of the field, the gridiron.
You've been a part of 5 Victory Bowls now at Northwestern. Tell me what's special for your teams as they compete in the bowl game. I know you try and make stops along the way. You've been to Notre Dame before, and you've been to the College Football Hall of Fame, or at least Northwestern has, in addition to service projects and things like that. So tell me what makes this so special of an experience.
Yeah, again, one of the things that I talk to recruits about when they come to visit or I go visit them is that we're all about relationship. And certainly that's hard to do when you're actually practicing, because you got your pads, your helmets on, and you're working to get better as a football player. But there's going to be a lot of time on the bus. There's going to be downtime in the hotel, certainly doing things together that could take place on the trip. We're hoping to visit the University of Iowa and practice on their field if that's available for us. So those kinds of memories you can't really create on the field, but you can create them together off the field. And so those are the pieces that are really important to us in regard to the bowl game.
Great. Well, thank you, and we'll recap the season together after your Victory Bowl game.